Alright folks, Post here, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and this is obviously, well, it's obvious to the first, I guess, 280 people who saw my first video on this, a re-recording of my, should you summon for Kukui and Lycanroc video, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, it was uploaded earlier today, like at 6 a.m. in the morning PST, and, it didn't have audio, which, I then had to delete and upload something else instead. Which, by the way, like there was like a comment on like the one of the other videos saying like it's some kind of conspiracy to like get more donations, like whatever that means. Anyways, let's get into this again. Kukui and Lycanroc, they're dropping tonight at 10 p.m. PST, which, by the way, I will be live streaming summon, so to check out the summons and all that stuff. You can join the live stream, subscribe, and notifications, even though notifications don't really work for my channel most of the time. But anyways, subscribe and they'll probably show up somewhere on your feed to remind you. But yeah, I'll do live summons. But as for, regular folks who probably aren't like me, who don't really need or, care for getting every single unit in the game, should you summon for Kukui and Lycanroc. So we'll go over Kukui and Lycanroc first, and then it's just basically itself in a vacuum, then also, some events, if it's any use in a lot of those, and then we'll, discuss if it's worth summoning for or not. So first of all, as usual, if Kukui and Lycanroc is your favorite, Pokemon slash trainer slash professor, I guess. I know Kukui's probably one of the more popular professors. I mean, he's one of the more powerful ones, right? Obviously. So I would probably expect more folks to want to summon for Kukui than maybe any of the other professors. Although, I don't think it's the most popular one, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people like him. So again, if it's like your favorite character or whatever, just go for it. Doesn't matter how strong it is. It's not bad, so... there you go. Anyways, but for those who don't really care too much about Kukui or Lycanroc and just want really powerful units or whatever, let's go through it. So, starting with the stats, starting with the basic info, it's Rock type, Tech, 5-star, obviously, and Weak versus Water. Its stats are mediocre. Like, even though you see, like, 407 speed, that's, like, the 4th highest speed in the game, it's basically useless because, like, it only has, like, a 2-bar move. So, not sure why it has 407 speed. Like, it's not even using it at all. I wouldn't say at all, but, it's barely using it. So, again, for those who don't know, speed just increases time your move gauge refills. As for your other stats, you're okay-ish in bulk. I mean, you have, I guess, average HP, slightly higher than average defense, and around average special defense. I mean, special defense isn't that bad as well. And as for your offensive stats, you don't need special attack at all, so don't worry about that. And for physical attack, 244, it's average. Like, if you look at, like, 244, that's, like, around, definitely not all the way up here, right? But you're around like Croconaw, like Feraligatr range, if you want a better idea, because like no one knows how much damage Croconaw does, because no one uses Croconaw. They just either you're still at Totodile or you just evolve it to Feraligatr. But anyways, it's kind of around Feraligatr levels of base damage, right? Haxorus, these are decent comparisons, right? T-Tar, Mudstill, I'm sure a lot of you guys use Mudstill in the past legendary event, so I guess that would be a decent comparison as well. But it's just around that range. It's not that great, but it's not like terrible either. It does have moves to make up for the low attack, so don't worry too much about that. Alright, moving on. Again, do keep in mind as we go through this is a tech unit, not a striker. It's not meant to do a lot of damage, right? Although it does a decent amount. So, let's go over its moves. So that has Rock Tomb, 39 power, physical, rock, 2-bar, 95% accuracy, lowers target speed. Everyone knows what Rock Tomb is, right? Obviously. A lot of rock tech types have Rock Tomb. I think Onyx has it, right? Does, I don't know if, I can't remember if T-Tar has it. I don't think T-Tar did, but like, Aurora has it, and now Lycanroc, Midday has it, so it's a common tech type, rock type move to have. Lower speed, that's always, speed lowering, I think, is kind of underrated in this game. And you know, again, one of the reasons why Dugong's actually not bad for an AoE striker, right? Luring speed, it makes the rate at your opponents that your opponents attack you much lower, which is actually pretty good. So you don't get hurt as much, obviously. So you know, that's actually not bad, right? As for your next move, Accelerock. So this is an interesting move. It's called a quick move. So basically what a quick move is, to our understanding at the moment, is that quick moves, they cost no gauges, but they have a limited uses. So it costs 0 move gauge. You could use it immediately. You could spam it 3 times, right? 75 power, so that's like right in the middle of a, you know, average 2-bar or 3-bar move, right? It's I guess it's, you know, if you want to compare power, it's like, I guess, a 2.5 bar move, right? That you could spam 3 times. Again, it's not a 3-bar move, but it doesn't cost any move gauge, which is also why the 407 speed makes no sense. Why are you so fast? Well, you don't. I mean, it's probably, maybe, I mean, it's good for maybe saving move gauge for your next striker that's coming out, which, it's not bad, I guess. But anyways, this is going to be like your main DPS move, if you want to count it as that. So there's that. Upsides, you don't need move gauge to use, obviously. Downsides, you have limited use, and also you don't really contribute to unity because you don't use move gauge, unless, obviously, you know, if you're, you know, unless it's super effective or whatever. Crit, I don't think it has crit though. But yeah, so few downsides, but you could just spam this, which is cool. Which also helps getting to a sync move quicker. By the way, that's another point that I don't see people making as much. So if you're running like an EV comp, right? If you just want your sync move out super fast, you could, I guess, spam Accelerock a few times, and then that gets your sync move. And also you get more than 3 tries. We'll go over that in the next move, but yeah, it's good for spamming for sync move as well. If you want, again, stuff like EV or like very important sync moves, like any of the megas, if you want like Mega Garchomp or something, you know, or Mega Houndoom, one of the better megas in the game, right? It's a good way to accomplish that with Accelerock, because again, you could just spam that, easy sync moves. Moving on to your trainer move, it's called Woo Refreshing. Refreshes the number of times the user can use its quick moves by 3, sharply raises the user attack. So this one's interesting. So it makes it so that your quick move, instead of 3 times, you could use it up to 9 times. So that's cool, I guess. Which, you know, 9 times, that's enough to get your sync move, right? So it's also interesting in the case that you have to like use this to raise your attack. So like your first 3 aren't gonna have any attack buffs. Your second 3 is gonna have +2. Your third 3, I guess, is gonna have +4, and you don't have crit. So that's basically it. But you do have your 4th move, Leer, which lowers the target's defense. It's an AoE move, right? 1 bar, lowers defense. This is probably where Lycanroc shines the most. I mean, you know, the Accelerock quick move thing is pretty fun, all that, with the, you know, synergy with refreshing, right? But Leer is probably where I would say most people are using Lycanroc Midday for. Leer is extremely powerful. Like in the main games, Leer is like one of the like most potato moves in the game, right? Like it's the move that all your starters / your starting Pokemon you get from the routes, you know, your Pidgeys, Rattatas learn the first move they learn, right? And / Pidgey Rattata equivalents of every other gen. But, you know, it's a huge potato move. No one really uses it. But in Pokemon Masters, it's actually really good. It only costs 1 bar, and you're lowering the defense of your whole opponent's team with each use. And obviously, I don't think I really need to explain how debuffs work, but it's basically, you know, just in short, for those who don't know, it's like if you get 6 of these out, it's like a +6 to your attack without actually using X attack or whatever, right? So you could see it as like a stacking attack mechanic, except it's on your opponent and not yourself, right? So, you know, even if you swap Pokemon or whatever, you're still getting that benefit, right? instead of in the case of like buffs to attack. When you swap, it's gone. So this is really, really powerful, and obviously stacks with attack buffs on your side, right? So moving on to its sync move. So its sync move is actually really interesting. Not a lot of sync moves have a secondary effect while also doing 250 power, right? 250 power is your average damage for sync moves that don't go mega, right? Or don't have any, additional effects. But they usually do 250 power, and they usually don't have any additional effects, but this one does. And this removes physical and special damage, reducing effects from the opponent's field of play, which is really, really good as well. So overall, like really, really solid kit Lycanroc has. As for your passives, Surging Sand 5 powers up Movement Sandstorm. This is whatever. I mean, if you have Sandstorm on your side, sure, that's cool. But you probably most of the time don't want to, just because it's like Sandstorm's just bad. Unflappable prevents the Pokemon from flinching. It's good to have. It's not like anything crazy. It doesn't synergize like insane with any of your moves, but it's just a nice passive to have. Anyways. Going over its viability in whole, it's one of the rare tech units that are almost universally applicable to almost every stage that you could play. That is used or that is generally beaten by physical strikers, right? So like anything that you could beat with physical strikers, this will do decent in, right? Stuff like if you're using Alyssa or Lycanroc against Price, although a lot of people are using Raichu now, or Alolan Raichu, right? Or stuff like EX Skyla, all that stuff, or I don't know, just anything that use like physical strikers against. This will be really, really good, obviously. And also, maybe stuff that also has like physical special barriers. You can maybe utilize the sync move here as well. Stuff that's weak to rock, you don't do insane amounts of damage, but you do decent damage, right? It's not bad damage per se. Obviously, Olivia's Lycanroc is going to do much, much more damage. It is a striker, but this has much, much more utility, right? For your whole team. Keep in mind, like the Leer, the lowering target's defense, your whole team gets the benefit of that if your teammates are also physical strikers. So anyways, another point is that in favor of Kukui and Lycanroc is that the Rayquaza event, they did mention that 1, it's weak to rock types, which Lycanroc is, and 2, it's weak to defense lowering stuff, which is interesting. Like the only reason I could really think of that is maybe because if they're like, or why they would mention that is maybe because like they're immune to crits, which would, I guess, make Olivia not as good. It would make stuff like Tyranitar or this Lycanroc more useful than they would be, right? If that's the case, and that's probably why they emphasize that it's weak to defense lowering, right? Or maybe they just have like really high physical defense. Maybe that's like the other explanation, but it seems more likely that they might be immune to crits, which again would be a bit difficult for Olivia. But overall, it seems really useful for a tech unit. Like in comparison to Grimsley, like you could barely use Grimsley. Like Grimsley, that's the other tech 5-star, right? It's really, really hard to use Grimsley in like any event at all. Like it's just extremely, it's extremely situational. You have to find like an event that has that has any significant stat boostings to actually utilize Grimsley well, right? But it does seem like they are pushing out Lycanroc to be like the banner or summable unit or sync pair for the legendary event, like they've done a lot of times so far, right? With Grimsley and Mewtwo, right? Even though again, Grimsley wasn't the best unit to use at in the Mewtwo event, but it was not bad, right? It was really decent. But obviously Bryson was the best unit in there, and also for Solgaleo, I guess is a better case, right? Because Garchomp was literally the best unit you could use there, right? The Garchomp banner dropped the Solgaleo event. Garchomp absolutely obliterates Solgaleo, right? And this is probably the equivalent to that for Rayquaza. So if you don't have any decent rock type strikers or any decent stuff to deal with the Rayquaza event, then I would probably suggest maybe summoning on this banner, right? It Did they mention how long the Rayquaza event's gonna run for though? Because you know, you might have better luck on the Pokefair banner coming up on I think the 14th with Steven, but again, don't know how long it's gonna run, right? But you know, if you really don't have anything, then this would be an okayish summon. But overall, for free to play players, I probably won't suggest summoning on it. Like, it's not a must-have. It's not like 100% necessary, right? And it's also not. It's not like incredibly overpowered. Like, you don't really need it. It's good in certain scenarios, right? But well, that's actually good in a lot of scenarios. But you know, it's not like you must have this thing or else you will like be a potato in the game, right? But yeah, it's not a must-have, and it's also not a Pokefair banner, which again means the 5-star rates aren't as high as Pokefair banners. But then again, Pokefair banners don't come too often. But we do know one is coming on the 14th, so there's that. If you want to save for Steven Stone, then that would, you know, that's not a bad idea. Even though, you know, Steven Stone's probably not as, you know, useful as Lycanroc is, but you know, Steven Stone's not. I see a lot of people saying Steven and Mega Metagross is like just straight up bad. I don't agree. I don't think it's bad. You know, obviously it's not like the best or whatever. It's really hard to use, but it's not bad. I don't think, you know, I don't think Metagross is bad. But yeah, again, Metagross does have a better, or does have better rates on the banner. Obviously, you don't have good rates for Lycanroc on that banner, but you do have good rates for 5 stars overall on the banner, which just makes that banner slightly better value, banner to summon on. So yeah, overall, I probably wouldn't suggest getting Lycanroc and Kukui unless you just like have absolutely nothing to work with on your team. Then you know it's not a bad option to start with. But otherwise, I'd probably just wait for Steven's banner instead, or maybe not even Steven's banner, just maybe for like the 6th month anniversary stuff. But anyways, that's me for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you guys are going to summon for this or not. And again, I will be streaming summons live because, well, I want every sync in the game. Except for Christmas Seabolt, which I completely missed out on. But anyways, again, I will be streaming when this goes live, so subscribe to get that. And, you know, check it out when it happens. Also, good luck to everyone summoning if you do choose to summon. And I'll see you guys in the next one.